Hi, my name is Mark Hart. Welcome to my home, Chilliwack, BC, one of the most beautiful and friendly cities in Canada. Chilliwack is also one of the fastest growing cities in Canada, and a large part of this is coming from an influx of new Canadian families, each bringing a part of their cultural heritage to our community. In collaboration with the Chilliwack Local Immigration Partnership, this video series aims to explore the stories of these newcomer families. How? Through the universal language of food, by baking together and breaking bread together. As a professional baker and owner of Rise Baking Lab, a small baking school in Chilliwack, BC, I'll be spending time baking with these newcomers. We'll dive into their culinary heritage, but more than that, we'll uncover their personal journeys along the way. Our journey will culminate in a grand celebration where the stars of the series, the newcomers themselves, will cater the event, showcasing Chilliwack's growing cultural diversity. Join me in celebrating the rich and growing tapestry of cultures that make Chilliwack such a vibrant community. Welcome to episode 3 of Breaking Bread. Today's guest is a community builder, one of the founders of the Streams Foundation Canada, and one of the proudest Chilliwackians I've ever met. Please welcome to the stage, Gulrukh Zeeshan.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
So first, let's just start off with what we're going to make today.
So we're making pakoras today.
Okay.
It's a famous
Excellent.
Pakistani comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and we were talking earlier, it was interesting because we were talking about what your traditional food that you eat in that, and you were mentioning pakoras as like a comfort food, and here this time of year it's we need a lot of that.
Yeah, I'll just give a little brief kind of background story why I chose pakoras.
Okay.
It's that in Pakistan, when it's like a rainy season, it's kind of cold. It's the go-to dish that everybody makes. It's like comfort food, and it's always nice to have it. It's like it's a finger food, so it's very, very tasty.
So we've got all kinds of amazing spices here. It smells delicious, and we haven't even started cooking yet. Maybe just tell us a little bit about what we're gonna cook here, and then what spices we're gonna use, and what some of these ingredients are that we're using.
Sure. So this is whole cumin. These are corianders. These are crushed corianders.
Yes.
And this is chaat masala to add a little bit of tinge to it. Cornstarch for crunchiness. And this is coriander powder, turmeric powder, and garam masala powder. So, this is gram flour, and this is salt. That's all we need.
So why are we using some crushed coriander and some ground coriander? Just
the crushed coriander gives like a lot of aroma, a lot of smell. Even when you were crushing it, I think you would have smelled it.
It just really has a lot more aroma.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, awesome. So let's talk about. So we're going to be making potatoes, onions. We've got cilantro and spinach.
Yes.
Is there other?
Actually, you can
add. Standard,
this is standard. You can add green chilies. It depends upon everybody's personal choice. If they want to add crushed chili or green chilies, or maybe even more vegetables. Some people, it depends on everybody's personal choice. Okay. But the most the go-to thing is potatoes and onions, basically.
Okay.
But I like to add cilantro and spinach to make it healthier and more flavorful.
And more flavorful. I love the cilantro. So. Yeah. Okay, so we need to chop these up, peel these up. And so we need to peel a potato, chop an onion, chop this up.
Yeah, lots of chopping to do.
Lots of chopping. Well, let's start chopping and chatting. So I'll peel a potato, and maybe you can get one of the onions going. And you can show me what you need, how big to cut them, and
Okay.
So we should start off by saying where you're from.
So I'm from Pakistan.
Okay.
And I grew up in the capital, Islamabad.
Okay.
But my family was from Mardan, which is in the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Okay.
Yeah, the abbreviations are KPK. Everybody says KPK.
Okay. Okay. And that's like one of the provinces? Is that
yes.
Okay.
So there are 4 provinces in Pakistan. and 4 cultures, basically 4 languages
Right.
spoken in those provinces. Whereas we do have Urdu as our national language.
So everybody speaks Urdu.
Yes, throughout the country.
Yeah, even in like rural areas.
Not so much, but
Yeah.
like the provinces have like different cities which are capital to the provinces.
Yeah.
So yeah, most of those places people do speak Urdu, but as you move into the rural areas, then
Yeah.
it's just the regional language there.
Yes, yes. So what brought you here from there? What was the reason that you came to Canada, and why Chilliwack?
Okay, so as we talked earlier, me and my husband both are dentists. He's
Mhm.
specialized in maxillofacial surgery, and I, being like dental surgeon myself, used to practice over there. But then we just online and in the newspaper read that Canada was short on dentists,
Yes.
and Canada needed dentists. I was like, okay, I'll apply. I was the principal applicant.
Yeah.
So I applied, and then we kind of forgot about it. We're like, okay, we're just,
Yeah.
having fun with our careers and our life. It's okay. And then all of a sudden, it's like, yay, you guys are approved. And, we were in the category of a highly skilled immigrant program.
Right.
So it was not just like running away from a war zone or anything.
Yeah.
It was quite a
You
comfortable
wanted
life,
to come.
right?
Yeah.
But then
yeah.
we're like, yeah, but it's a good option. Let's explore.
Mhm.
And my in-laws, they live in Seattle. My family had exposure. They travel a lot.
Yeah.
So nobody had ever been to Canada, but in
Okay.
the US, I have my aunties and extended family. So I was like, yeah, let's give it a try. And then we kind of moved to Canada. And well, as every day passed, we just loved living here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Chilliwack, we moved to Chilliwack after 2.5, 3 years of
Mhm.
living in Canada. And Chilliwack is the most beautiful city, I believe,
It is.
throughout Canada.
It's so beautiful here.
So beautiful with the mountains, the lakes, the river, like there's so much to do and all
Yeah.
the outdoor activities and stuff. It's just amazing. And I was like, this is the place where I want my kids to grow up.
And so similar for me. We moved here from Ontario.
Yeah.
And I lived in Abbotsford, but then we came and visited some friends here, and we were like, wow, this is such a nice place to live, and
Very beautiful.
it's so beautiful. So yeah, we also just kind of moved out here, as it's the other thing that we were talking about is how friendly people are here.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So one other thing is not just the beauty, but the people of Chilliwack, they are so welcoming and so kind. And when we moved here, we didn't even feel like it was our first day or first week living in Chilliwack. It was as if we lived here since a long time, and everybody was smiling at us and saying hi. And
Yes.
we're like, oh, so the community makes a whole lot of difference. And when you move to a new place and everybody's so friendly, it's just
Yes.
the whole perception changes, right? So it was
Amazing.
very welcoming.
Yeah, I find I walk down the river and I say hello to everybody, and almost everybody says hello back with a smile.
Exactly.
Even they're walking down and they look like they're not having a good time. As soon as you say hello, there's a smile on their face.
And it just makes your day too, because you're like, okay, this person's interacting.
Mhm.
They want us to be here and make us feel a part of the community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just chop this one down.
Yeah. So similar, you're just going to chop it up into small.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cubes.
So now, when you got here, though, is a very common story here.
Mhm.
They brought you in to be a dentist, and then you weren't qualified to be a dentist here, or they didn't. You needed to do more to become a dentist here.
Yeah, I mean, when we moved to Canada, it was a little different in a way that when you move to a new country, you have to learn all the ways.
Mhm.
I lived in the capital in Pakistan, so it's not like some village area. I knew
was
a
a big
lot
city,
about
yeah,
a big city,
yeah.
and my English is because all the education over there is in English, right?
Yeah.
But still, you need to know all the ways in cooking, especially, right? Right? And then so when we moved to Canada, it was so learning all the ways and learning how to do things in a new country. It's obviously a little challenging
Mhm.
because it's the experience you have here. It's not just watching Canada on TV, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
living here. So yeah, and then moving with 3 kids, you have to put food on the table. That's a huge thing. So for us, we got our credentials evaluated.
Yeah.
And they said, yes, you have a university degree, but it wasn't specified, like, in which subject.
Okay.
In such.
Okay.
And then the licensing, I do understand, because medical field is a very serious, like, field. It's not a joke.
You want
right?
to know that people know what they're doing.
So I do understand, and I really respect that they wanted us to do all the licensing procedure again and stuff, go through that. But for me, I also, wanted to be there for my kids.
Yeah.
So I stayed home, and I was like, I don't want to put them in daycare because we don't have any family and friends. So my kids were very nervous when they moved here. They were like, we don't know anyone. So are you going to leave us somewhere? I'm like, no, I'm going to be with you. So I took a long break, and I just, but I loved living here, and I thought every day of my life, I'm like, this is the best decision I made. I'm going to stand by it, and this is the best place to raise, my kids. And the quality of life here, if you look at it, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I am going to live here, and I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to be with my kids because they're my first priority.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of moved away from my line of work and career. But then looking at it, I also thought, like, growing up, we should also be flexible to changes in our lives, right?
Yeah.
Because life can take us anywhere. But and also thinking that medical field is a tough one, right? So if I had to sit down and lock my doors and work, but then who takes care of my kids?
Yeah.
So for that reason, I was like, in Pakistan, I was teaching dental students.
Yeah.
Right. I was a demonstrator and a lecturer over there. So hands-on activities, how to do extractions, fillings, and all those procedures. And then, but it was an institute. So I had students, and it was like more like a school, a dental school. So I was like, schools sound interesting. So I made my way to schools here, and I work for the school district now as a preschool teacher.
Amazing. And you actually, we found out that you're a strong start teacher at the same school that all my kids have been to as well.
Yes, and the same with my preschool is also in
there
Watson.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a nice coincidence there. And so now your kids are grown?
Yes, they're grown up. My daughter's in second year university. She's doing nursing. My son, Musa, he's in grade 11, and my youngest, Isa, is in grade 10. And my daughter, her name's Rida. Shouldn't miss that because she's spare me for that.
So now you're doing that, but you're also doing something else that's amazing, this Streams Foundation.
Yes.
So there's so many things that you do with this foundation. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what it is and what kind of things you do?
So Streams Foundation Canada is a nonprofit, volunteer-based organization, and our main focus is community building, and our projects are free of cost for the community of Chilliwack.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is because we want to give back to the community. They were so welcoming, and through Streams, we've made so many friends, and they're like family to us now.
So you built your own community here.
I think our community is bigger now. It's the whole Chilliwack, I think, and Stream Foundation is like, it focuses on community building projects. Like we have Coffee with Seniors, we have Library Social, then there's Coffee and Craft.
Yeah.
And we do have spring camps for kids. We did that in the past. One was at the Blue Heron Reserve. That was from age 8 to 14.
Yeah.
So those kind of kids, they usually are bored at daycares. So that was a free spring break camp. We also hosted a basketball camp at Vedder Middle for middle school age kids. So thanks to Vedder Middle School, who allowed us to use their gym and facility.
Yeah.
So, and we have community partners like Tim Hortons, Starbucks, McDonald's, and like the community itself. Like they're so welcoming, and they join us on our events. And so and we also do like meal boxes and help people in the community with food. We also have a project, the emergency food hampers.
Oh my
So it's
gosh.
like if anybody is in need and like, they're working paycheck to paycheck, but if they fall short any time of the month, they can just contact us and, they will receive a hamper.
So the main backbone of this is just building community.
Yes.
And I suppose by doing this, though, you're also building in people that start as coming out to these events, but then become volunteers.
Yes,
and
because
then
once they
running
learn
the
about
programs.
once they learn about the organization, because it's so welcoming and inclusive in a sense. Like our group, our team members are so diverse and from all walks of life in Chilliwack, like from seniors to young kids and like middle school kids and high school kids. Everybody's involved. Whoever
Amazing.
has time, they can join streams, come to our events, learn about our events, and then become a member and volunteer if
And
they'd
it's just
like.
open to anybody.
Open to anybody in Chilliwack.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
do you get a lot of newcomers coming to this? And
Yes.
Yeah. And so this is also probably a place for people who've left their community to build a new community
Yes,
as well.
and then also like the socialization aspect of it. It's
Mhm.
also helping us, like, because even when we moved to Chilliwack, moved to Canada, we had no family or friends. But now in Chilliwack is home, and we have so many family and friends, and
Yeah.
and through streams, we've known so many people, amazing people in the community, and most of them, they always try their best if they're volunteering, if they can, like if they're business owners, they kind of sponsor our projects. So
Right.
it's amazing. It's not just like
Just
those
keep
big
bringing in more.
but yeah, all the local businesses, they also jump in and join in. So it's just amazing to see how much the people of Chilliwack, like, they love to volunteer and give back, and it's just like a process going around. We're
Yeah.
just kind of all just working together.
That's amazing. And
to create a community.
When did you start this?
About 2 years ago.
And you've done all of that?
Yes.
That is
And we also
very impressive.
we also help other organizations if they're having some fairs or anything around Chilliwack. Our volunteers and our team just goes and
You
helps
send them out. Yeah.
I don't send them
Amazing.
out. They just jump in. They want to go. They want to be there.
We should maybe get the pan turned on.
Sure.
It'll take a little bit to heat up. I can just turn it on here. So we've got the potatoes, we've got the onions, and this is going to be, we're making like a batter to dip them in, is the idea?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get this going here. Okay. Let's see. It'll take a little bit to get warm.
So I'm just cutting cubes of potatoes right now.
Okay.
I already cut the onions.
And we need some cilantro.
Yes.
How much? This is a bit of an eyeball-y kind of recipe, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. That's too much.
Too much? Too much?
That's
okay.
good.
This is good.
This is good.
Okay. And so we've got, you had a ratio for your potatoes and onions, though, you said. If you use one potato, you use
half an onion.
Half an onion.
Yes,
okay.
but if there are 2 potatoes, then 1 full onion is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So half as much onions.
Yes. I use the stems of the cilantro because that's where they have most of the flavor in them.
Most of the flavor in the stems.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you just use the entire piece then?
Yes, the entire piece.
Okay. Okay. I know, they're nice and tender. It doesn't matter to get them in there, but I didn't know that we should put them in there on purpose.
Yes.
Okay. And some spinach.
This is what I learned in Canada now. Because I never cooked back home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to cook.
This is, a similar story to Luis that was here, that a lot of things that were where he was, you got other people to do a lot of the things. Like that was just the way it is. So they didn't fix their own things. They hired somebody to fix the stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas here, then they came and they all of a sudden, I got to do this. Got to figure out how to do all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like we were just on the weekend, we were renovating my daughter's room, and I took the curtains off, and my mom said, she calls me every day on WhatsApp. So she's like, is her room fixed? I was like, no, I haven't put the curtains on. Call somebody to put the curtains on. I can't call anyone to put the curtains on. I have to do it myself.
Yeah.
So, but you learn like how much, I think I have the ability to do so much now. Because
Yeah.
first I thought I couldn't just do anything, but now there's so much that I can do by myself. I can just paint the walls and put the curtains back on and everything.
Amazing.
I mean, these are simple things if you're growing
Yeah.
up here, but when you move from another country, everything is like, oh, now I have to do this. And like even the minor things, you really have to get in there and do it yourself.
Yeah. But I mean, that makes everything interesting and fun as well.
Yeah.
How much spinach do we need?
That's good for this.
Just this?
A little bit more.
A little bit more. Okay.
Yeah.
Better
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. Yep.
Now you said you add the spinach to make it more healthy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's optional. But usually people in Pakistan don't put spinach, but
Okay.
maybe they just have spinach dipped in the batter and then they fry it.
Just fried the spinach.
But for here, I won't use the stems.
Okay.
Just the leaves.
Now, when we were talking about food back home, you were saying you just eat a lot of the same stuff that you eat now.
Yeah.
There, it wasn't. It's not like you were just eating all, traditional food there. That
in my family, when I was growing up, in my home, my parents' house, so like for lunch we used to have traditional food.
Yeah.
And for dinner we used to have Western food, and that could be like a burger, pizza, lasagna, or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And the same I do it here now.
With your kids.
With
as well.
my kids, lunch is always traditional food, whereas dinner is Western. Teriyaki chicken or something.
And so you're not like trying to push the traditional food on them and.
Yeah.
For that, do they like it?
They like it.
But they might rather have pizza.
I've been giving them, so they have to like it.
Yeah.
Make the batter now.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the batter made from?
The batter is made with gram flour.
Yeah.
Which is besan in our language.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put like a cup.
Like a cup-ish?
A cup of besan.
You're kind of going just by what the texture is going to be, though. When you're going to add some water and see what we're until we get a batter.
So there are different ways of making the batter. Some people just put the besan and then they add water and then they add the veggies. But some people, they just add the veggies and then slightly dampen their hands. And there are different ways of making batter.
Okay.
I'll just use my way.
Okay. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, this is what we're doing.
Okay. So I'll just start adding the spices.
Okay.
Okay.
And so we've got a salt.
Yes, and this is about like a teaspoon is good.
A healthy teaspoon.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
this is the coriander powder. That's gonna be.
We have a half teaspoon.
Half.
Is that
Yes, half. I'll use half.
Okay. And this is a little bit to taste as well, I guess.
Yes.
Do you always use seeds as opposed to the ground cumin?
I love cumin seeds because they have I like a fresh aroma.
Yeah, I know. I always like to grind my own spices.
Yeah.
There, it's like for black pepper. If you just get the shaker, there's no flavor left in it. It's all evaporated off. Yeah.
And this is chaat masala, very famous in kind of comfort food.
Okay.
Chaat masala goes on most of the dishes.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna add cornstarch to make the pakoras crispy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you don't add that, they won't be quite as
not as crispy as I like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're adding like a teaspoon or
a teaspoon.
Okay.
Yeah. And now I'll just stir these spices.
Blend them up a little bit.
Yeah. And some people like to add chili powder, red chili powder, or paprika or stuff like that, but I like it this way.
And you were saying that you're like where you're from, it's not all about the spice.
No, it's not. It's
flavors,
more flavorful because I said Pakistan has like 4 provinces and they have 4 languages, 4 very rich cultures.
Yeah.
And the food also varies. Like in parts of Pakistan, people eat very spicy food. Yeah. Whereas where I come from, they have milder taste.
Okay.
They don't eat a lot of spices over there. I'm just gonna add like half a cup of water.
And then we're just gonna see what it's.
Yes. Where is it?
Where it's at.
Yeah. So some people, when they're making pakoras, they also leave the veggies in there, and the veggies kind of let water out.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
so it makes it more
So what are we going to do? We're going to mix up the batter first and then put some veggies in it?
veggies in it, yes.
Okay.
And then also while I put the veggies in, I'm just going to look at the texture, then add a little bit more water.
Okay.
So I think I'm just going to go like this.
Yeah.
This is my way of doing it.
Just go right off the edge.
Yes.
Our last episode that we had, she was cooking away, but her mom was in the audience.
Oh.
And the whole time she's like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Oh. Well, my mom's going to be really proud of me.
Is your mom's going to be happy with this?
My mom's going to be really proud of me because she never saw me cooking, right?
Okay.
She's going to be like, wow, you're making pakoras.
So you learned a lot of your cooking skills here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All the traditional, authentic Pakistani dishes from YouTube and stuff.
Yes.
Because I remember my first dish when I cooked in Canada, it was horrible. And I cooked red kidney beans and I didn't want to use a pressure cooker because I was scared of a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So I just put them in the pot and waited for like 3 hours, 4 hours. And I was like, this is not happening. And my kids were like, Mom, we're hungry. It's like, oh God, what am I going to do?
Well, so do you, like, there's not really any Pakistani restaurants here.
No, not in Chilliwack, yeah.
And so how do you, like, have you had to just learn yourself to make these dishes? Or is there any in Vancouver that you go to? Or you're just, if you want it, you got to make it yourself?
I just make it myself because either it's then too spicy for me.
Right,
so that's why I'm like, no, I think I can just handle it myself. And then I'm like, we can have pizza outside or a burger or an Italian dish. Like, you know, that's okay. But
yeah, I suppose there's some things though that like this that are comfort foods from that you want to make that are, you know, hard to find.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And we're also going to
turn
it low a little bit.
Turn it down a little bit?
Yes. Okay. So I get scared when it's bubbling.
A little too hot. Yeah. Do you need a second spoon or?
That's okay.
Okay. Sufficiently bubbling?
Yes, that's good. So I'm going to quickly add the other as much as I'm making.
So you put a whole bunch of them in there?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're sizzling. Is that too hot? Or is it good?
A little hot.
A little hot, okay.
It's me. I just don't like too much sizzling going on around me. Get scared.
Yeah.
Okay. I take my time when I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, if I'm going to make dinner for you, just give me plenty of time. I'm going to start early mornings. Just the whole day, I'm going to make one dish at a time.
Yes.
I'm going to take my time.
And
I can't cook if I'm in a hurry.
The show is called Breaking Bread, you know, symbolic of sitting down and eating together.
Yes.
What does that look like for your family? It must be all over the place. You're so busy.
But no, for me, I don't like to eat alone.
Yeah.
I have to have my family sit down on the table with me and eat.
Yes.
Like it upsets me if I'm the only one and if I have just one of my kid there, I'm like, no, where is everybody? We need to eat together because that's the way in my culture, like we always eat together. Even if it's like your extended family is living like, you know, because there are also some houses in Pakistan where like, you know, it's like a lot of family members live together.
Right.
So for them
like
also
multi-generational?
Yes, multi-generational cousins, uncles living together.
Yeah.
So they put the food out on a big table or like maybe have a big mat on a carpet and they all sit together and they would eat. And it's like the Breaking Bread kind of sounds so good in that way.
Yeah.
The title, when you told me, I was like, you know, because it's something which is very close to our culture.
Amazing.
We like to share food. So here, when I moved to Chilliwack, whenever I cooked something, I used to send it over to my neighbor.
Yes, yeah.
And she loved my food. She would come over and she was like, how did you make this? And I was like, ooh, somebody likes my food.
Well, like baking is a second career for me. And what I love about it is there's nobody that doesn't like to receive some baking. Okay, those are looking great.
Yeah.
Is that enough kind of color on them, or are they still got to go a little bit more?
Just a little bit, like a minute more, maybe, or 2 minutes.
Yeah. You were also telling me now, though, that your daughter has taken up her own angle on this and getting involved with the community and doing her own side thing to the stream.
So yes, she also takes up after her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's also has her projects going on in the community. Her Share project. It's
Okay.
called Share Project. She
Okay.
started that when she was in high school.
Okay.
So she cooked a meal for the homeless people, around like 70 meal boxes. And she went out in the community asking herself from different like businesses to lend her the meat and the rice, the ingredients. So and we said, do you want our help? We can help you. And she was like, no, you guys are not going to help me. I'm going to do this on my own. I want to do this by myself.
Oh my! And even that she had such opportunity to you already have things going, but she wants to do it all on her own.
Yes, because she was like, no, that's you guys. That's not me. You guys are doing that. That's Papa. That's not, or that's you. That's not me. So she wanted to do some stuff on her own in the community. Like in her high school, she put a big box out, and it was like hygiene products for homeless people.
Yeah.
So yeah, she got big donation, and then she went out with her friends in the community and distributed. And she just walked on the streets and was looking for homeless people.
Amazing. You guys are like community superstars here, building community, and
we're trying our best to feel at home for ourselves and make Chilliwack a much better place for all the newcomers or anybody that's living here.
And there's a lot of newcomers.
Yes.
It's growing so fast.
Well, Chilliwack is growing really fast.
And I'm sure you see that through the schools and changes.
Exactly.
How long have you been in Chilliwack?
Almost 10 years now.
Okay,
Almost.
So that's around how long I've been here. And there's been a lot of changes in Chilliwack, a lot of growth, a lot of new people moving here.
Yeah, especially in my preschool and in my Strong Start program, I see lots of new families moving to Chilliwack.
Yeah.
Yeah, from different areas from BC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very like kind of diverse now. The community is
when
really
I came 10 years ago, the diversity was, I thought, coming from Toronto, I thought, fairly lacking. But, over the last 10 years, it's just, there's been so many people moving here. That's partly why we wanted to do this show, to get people coming on and, hearing their stories and making it a little bit more, public, like.
Right. Yeah. So they're done.
Excellent.
So you can hear the sound. They're crunchy.
Oh, they are crunchy. Yes.
Yes.
That's what we're looking for, some crunch. And now we don't have any dip or anything like that, but do you serve it with sauce or?
Yeah, it's better with sauce. Like there can be different sauces. Like normally kids love it with ketchup. Or
ketchup.
Ketchup, yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe like
even in Pakistan, ketchup.
Even in Pakistan.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Ketchup, but for flavor, you can have mint chutney.
Yeah.
You can have it with mint chutney, or you can add mint chutney to yogurt.
Okay.
And it's called kind of raita.
Yeah.
And then you can have it with that. So it's
okay.
It's pretty cool.
But ketchup is what your kids like?
Yes, or maybe like a sweet chili sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes with a variety of different sauces.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been a great conversation. I'd love to see more about. Hopefully, everybody can be checking out the Streams Foundation and seeing all the amazing things that you're doing and get involved in the community here.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me to this show, and for me to talk about streams and Pakistan. All of this is very close to my heart.
It's wonderful to have you on.
Thank you so much. Thank you.